Hey guys, welcome back to another video. When I tell you I am so nervous to do this topic, I am really nervous. Um, Basically, I'm going to be addressing zodiac signs, and this is something that I have walked away from since choosing my walk with God, right? Since choosing to walk with Him. Sorry, I got so in my eye, guys. I have chosen to walk away from zodiac signs. So, revisiting this back is horrible. I don't feel good about talking about it, but I feel like it needs to be done. So, as you can see from the title, I put negative Cancerians versus godly people, right? The reason why I'm doing this is because there are people that may have followed star signs before their walk with God, or maybe they're still doing it with their walk, right? But I want them to realise that zodiac signs are defining you, and they're not defining you in a good way. They're not defining you the way that God defines you, right? This is the whole point of these videos. So, for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be talking about Cancerians, right? Thank you so much for the like. So I'm going to be talking about Cancerians, and this is really hard for me to do because I feel like I'm betraying God by talking about it. Hey AP, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm betraying God for talking about it, but at the same time I'm trying to do this to set people free, because a lot of people don't know they're still operating underneath star signs, right? So if you are someone that doesn't know what a Cancerian is, don't Google it, right? Continue your walk with God. If you feel like something that I'm talking about in this video relates to you, try and work on cutting it out so you can get right with God, right? When I say get right with God, you want God to operate in your life. You don't want to be having Satan operate through you, because when he can operate through you, he will send more people to control you. So let's dive into it, right? What do I mean by negative Cancerian, right? So in the dynamic world, right, Cancerians are seen as sensitive, right? They're very sensitive. They're seen as, I hate talking about this, guys. I don't feel good doing it, but I've got to do it, right? They're seen as sensitive and they hate criticism, right? If you criticize them, they go back into their shell and they feel attacked, right? So that's why they always say Cancerian's the crab in the shell, right? So they go into the shell, and the whole reason why this is negative is when ciao ciao come stai the reason why it's negative is because alright, let's give it a scenario, right? I've noticed when I used to be into star signs, I noticed this was a common pattern with Cancerians. Hi Dara, hi Priest. I don't live in the USA, so I can't vote him. I like your hat, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much. Hi Kushan. So I'm gonna dive into it, guys, right? So let's use a scenario. So with Cancerians, say if number one they're studying a course, right? And they feel defeated or they feel like they can't do it, they become negative, right? Everyone feels their low mood, right? With Cancerians, with their mood, you know if they're in a good mood or not, right? They like to project that. This is what made me become aware of my feelings, and I realised that I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be like a Cancerian where they project their mood onto people. So if they're in a bad mood, everybody knows about it. They won't talk to you. They snap at you and they will say, leave me alone, for no reason. Imagine you're talking to them and they say, leave me alone, right? That's the negative side of them. So if they're doing a course and they feel like they can't do it or they feel like they're failing, they go into this really dark mood, right? and then they tell you, they say, oh, I can't do it, and they project it onto you. They say, oh, I give up, or I can't do it. And then when you're trying to help them, you're trying to motivate them, they still go in this dark mood and they drag you down with it, and they say, oh, well, I can't be bothered. So you have to use all your energy to motivate them and boost them up to keep on trying. And the negative side of this is sometimes they even cut you off for it. They won't talk to you, and they feel like life is, they just have this spirit of giving up, right? And as we know, if you are a child of God, you know you can do all things through Christ. Everybody knows this, right? And if you know anybody that is a child of God and they are still behaving like this, try and reassure them that everything is possible through God. You can't do things without him, right? You have to pray to him. You have to confide in him before you do anything new. You have to say to God, right, you have to talk to him. You have to ask him to lead the way for you. If it's the right thing for you, ask him to put his hands in your life, to guide you, to send you the right help and everything. Like, you have to put all your trust into him, right? So when you're dealing with somebody that's operating under the dynamic star sign, guys, when I tell you if they're operating under it, they don't know, because even if they're not following star signs, they're still going to be operating underneath it. So when they're operating underneath that, they have this spirit of failure, like they feel like they can't do anything right. They just feel like giving up, and they project that onto you. So it becomes like a dark mood, right? The mood becomes very dark and negative, and you have to put a lot of energy into them to draw that mood out of them, right? So yeah, that's just me like showing the comparison. So I have actually had experience of somebody that was coming into the truth, coming closer to God, and they literally started giving up. And I told them, I said, you're operating underneath the star sign. And they didn't want to hear it because they didn't believe in star signs, right? But I could see it. I was like, listen, they just felt like they just felt like giving up. And there was nothing I could say to get them out of that negative dark mood. So we have to put our trust into God and understand that he can really draw us out of these things, right? We need to stop operating underneath these dynamic star signs, right? Let me read the comments, guys. Right, where am I from? Right. Someone asked me if I'm homeless. No, I'm not. Owner of Wobbly Life. Hello. Preet, I'm from England. Are you British? Yes, I am. Everyone, I'm from England. Hi, Brazil. Hola. Oi, oi. Como vai, Brazil? Yes, there was riots here, but not in my town. Can you do backflip? No, I can't. Are you married? No, I'm not. That's right, all things are possible when the Most High is on your side. Yes, AP. But the problem is, a lot of people know this, but when I tell you, when the devil is operating under someone's life, right, they're still operating underneath a star sign. It's a real thing. And I think people just like to turn their back on Zodiac signs. I don't realise that people are still... This is why a lot of relationships break down. This is why family members don't get on, because you'd be surprised, a lot of them are still behaving underneath a star sign, right? In a nutshell, keep away from Cancerians. No. I wouldn't say keep away from them. This is not me trying to say, guys, 1 second, I need to get past. This guy is like doing like, he's cleaning the pavement. 1 second. Sorry. Sorry guys, I'm like running, this guy is like cleaning the pavement. Like, yeah, no, I mean, when I was coming this way, he was doing it, he's still doing it now. So, no, I would not say stay away from Cancerians, no, because that's how they want star signs to work. The whole point is to draw people out of it. The reason why I say don't avoid them is because when I was into star signs, I would avoid certain star signs. I don't want people to do that. My whole point of this video is to raise awareness on the problems of star signs so people can start pulling away from that and start operating underneath God, right? To pull out of the negative mindset, and to realize that through God all things are possible. Satan wants you to worry, Satan wants you to be negative, Satan wants you to give up. And the whole point of doing this video is to make people realize that no, I'm not going to be my star sign. I'm going to be the person that God created me to be, because God knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. So that's the whole point, guys. Hola, hola Las Vegas, ¿cómo estás? Hola otra vez. Look out for signals. Again, AP, because I used to be in star signs, I can avoid you better. Don't look out for signs, because with zodiac signs, it's very flawed, right? So, guys, you're not gonna be able to see me 1 second. It's very flawed. So just because I said Cancerians, other people can have that trait as well, right? But because when people follow star signs, they tend to group people into certain traits. But because it's a dynamic thing, right? Anybody can be operating underneath that trait. So the whole point of my series is to highlight any toxic traits. So if anybody feels like they are operating like a Cancerian, to pull themselves out of it, right? Anything I'm talking about in terms of Cancerian is based on my own personal experiences, right? It's not something I would, okay, sometimes I would study zodiac signs, but right now I'm not going to be Googling Cancerians. I'm not doing that because I've walked away from that. But I'm just using my past knowledge based on how people, if they want to choose to come to God, how they may still be operating underneath Satan. Because if you're coming to God, you got to pull yourself away from how the devil wants you to operate. I hope that makes sense, guys. You get me, AP. Thank you so much. This topic is really hard for me to talk about because, as I said, like, I used to always be into star signs, so it's hard for me to deliver this message. So I'm not promoting star signs, so I'm pulling people out of it, if that makes sense. But it's going to be really hard for me to do this because it means that I have to talk about it. And I used to be passionate about star signs once upon a time, because it's a very tricky subject, because it's like I'm talking about something I used to love and I've got to do it in a way to bash it. Do you know what I mean? But also do it in a way that it doesn't make people start Googling symptoms or people to start labelling people in a certain way. I don't want people to do that, because that's what the devil wants. Yeah, so for anybody out there that's watching this video, if you feel like giving up, right? If you're working on something, don't give up, right? And another experience that I had, somebody that I actually know was studying something, right, and they started giving up, and I spent like a good hour really talking to them, and they woke up, I was drained, and they woke up the next day and they said, right, and they went back on to studying, and I thought, oh my gosh, I put all my energy into you and now you're fine. This is the problem. That's why I call it negative, because you're telling people how you're feeling and you're expecting everyone to like pull you out of it, right? And it's negative, right? So we need to stop doing that. And the thing is, I had to say to her, look, God gives you everything you need. You've got everyone here around you helping you with this course. Like, not many people have that. You know, like, imagine if you're doing a course, I understand it was like a subject that was really difficult, and everyone was really, really helping her, right? And that's what I'm saying, God gives you everything that you need, right? So when you feel like giving up, yes, we're going to have moments where we feel like giving up. Take a break. Try not to project your energy onto people too much. I understand if you're feeling bad, you have to tell someone. But don't be at the point where you feel defeated and people can see a way out, but you're acting like there's no way out. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to think if there's someone like that in the Bible. Moses in Exodus. I remember when God was trying to get him to follow his instructions to get the children out of Israel, and he was like quitting, and God was like trying to tell him, like, oh, what was God saying? I think God was like trying to reassure him that he can do it, right? And God had to really intervene to really, really get him to do it. So it just made me think of that as well, where is giving up before you give up before it's even begun, right? You're not trusting the process, is what I'm getting at, guys. Right, let me read the comments. Oh, thank you so much, AP. It's so hard because I used to have this really unhealthy relationship with zodiac signs where I would base everyone on that zodiac sign, right? And a lot of people would become frustrated because if I met someone, I would want to know what their zodiac sign was, and then they hated it because I was trying to judge them. Guys, when I tell you zodiac sign is for witches, like, don't dabble in that stuff, guys. But I'm going to leave this video here now. So remember what I said, right? If you're feeling negative, call on the Lord, call on him, right? We can do all things through God. We can't do it on our own, right? And you see, when he knows that we are trusting him, he's happy, and he will send you help anyway. But it will really come through for you when you really like call on him, right? When someone feels like giving up, just look back and see how far you've come. Don't give up. Yes, AP. Everyone listen to the AP, right? When you feel like giving up, just look back and see how far you've come. You've come a long way. You haven't come this far to come this far, right? God's not going to bring you this far to come this far. And don't give up. Never give up, right? If you feel defeated, yes, tell someone. But look for solution. Don't just tell them your problem and then give up. Like, give them a chance to help you, right? We're all supposed to help each other, you know. But I'm going to leave this video here now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Muchas gracias por viendo mi video en YouTube. Te quiero mucho. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the likes. And thank you so much to anyone that just watched it after I posted it live. So I have to look back because I don't know if someone's coming after me. So take care, guys. I love you all. Mwah.